Hello, and welcome to Split Your Head. I'm your host, Bob, and today's special guest is Weird Alice, a Toronto based drag queen, film programmer, filmmaker, and horror host who is currently unloading a much needed dose of sleaze, camp, and queer cinema on this city with her programs Drag Me to the Movies, Evil Women, and Sleaze Factory. She's about to unleash a trio of quote unquote dirty movies next month at the Paradise Cinema, so naturally I had to have her on to talk about the importance of dirty cinema and how she's come to earn the title of Toronto's Cinematic Smut Peddler. Your words, not mine. You did tell me that you're now referred to that on the streets of Toronto. How do you think you got that name
I'm
exactly?
I mean, it's not like a self-appointed name. I don't remember who said it first, but like I'm not mad about it.
Sure, it's great.
I am the only person who is venturing to play pornography on the big screen in the
Wow.
city, but also like sexploitation, like old school sleazy dirty movies.
Mm,
And there are people doing like small events and backroom type things, but we don't have a cinema l'amour here. And yeah, and even the non exactly like movie theater content I do tends to lean into the dirty old man territory. So
okay. But almost like the dirty old everyone in a way, right? Because you're not just trying to show like strictly heterosexual based sexploitation content, which
no.
brings us to the first movie of the three films that you're playing in August, which is Wakefield Poole's Bijou from 1972.
Wakefield
Um,
Poole's Bijou, baby, the kaleidoscopic gay erotica. There's nothing like it.
I can imagine. Although, I mean, I've been hearing things about Fred Halstead with Sex Tool and LA Plays Itself.
I
That's been more on
mean,
my radar before Wakefield Pool, but I'm open. I'm open, you know?
I mean, knowing what I know about you, I
Yeah.
feel like knowing that like the one that immediately came on your radar first is a little bit more of like the Andy Milligan of porn films does
Okay.
not surprise me.
Yeah.
Which is weird to say because Andy Milligan's definitely got some stuff in there, but
Sure.
definitely you're sitting here wearing a shirt from my
Gaspar, no.
my favorite director, if you can taste the sarcasm.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. He's not for me. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but
But
yeah,
he's a provocative director, and
he
I
is
mean
a
you're no stranger to
provocative
that, so
director,
that's
and I
good.
love provocation. I limit my provocation enjoyment at you're doing it just to push people's buttons and being like,
Okay.
isn't this edgy? And I was like, it is, but what are you doing? Did we need
Okay.
to see an internal 3D cum shot? And I know that's not the worst thing that Gaspar Noé's put on film, but I will
Yeah.
never forgive the friend who was like, nah, you'll enjoy love. And I was like, just watching a sad loser man treat women bad, and it's done like where you're meant to feel bad for this guy, and now I
Yeah.
see an internal cum shot. Like, I at one point said I don't think that technology needed to exist, but somebody said if like John Waters had done it, would
Oh,
I have
hell
enjoyed
yeah.
it? And I feel like he would have had camp to it. He would have had
Right,
like
right.
I have a hard time with Todd Solondz for similar reasons, but
Sure.
I know what he's doing and I can appreciate it, even if
Interesting.
it like
Okay.
gets my back tense. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, you're not just doing it to be edgy though. There is like an artistic spin to it. It's
Right,
just
right.
maybe I'm not the audience for the artistic spin, but I'm trying. I'm trying with his
Yeah,
movies.
yeah.
Welcome to
I
Dollhouse is a
I haven't
masterpiece.
I haven't seen Love, so I can't really say much to it. I personally wasn't interested in seeing it based on what I heard about it.
You're
But,
fine.
no one's got a perfect
But
filmography.
it's interesting that I say that in context of Bijou,
Right.
where no, Bijou doesn't have a interactive bizarro element to it, but it really does. I say it's like a kaleidoscopic gay erotica. It feels like you were to pick up a kaleidoscope and hold it up, and it's great that this looks like it's a dick grab in motion, and you look through it, and instead of shapes it is
Yeah.
just all very surreal, not based in any reality, pink lighting, star filter sex
Sure.
scenes where there's like an extraneous dick where you're like, there's a dude fucking a dude, but he's also
Okay.
being fucked by another dick, but the dick belongs to nobody, but it's not like it's a dildo. Like, it's like the bodies don't work the way bodies work, and
Okay.
it's because it's meant to be like it's like a fever dream.
Right.
And it's like the wildest of fantasies, but not like a fantasy this titillates me, but a fantasy like this titillates me and it couldn't happen in real life.
Okay.
All collide, and it's set to, there's no dialogue, it's set entirely to classical music.
Oh,
It's not long either. I think it's like 75 minutes.
love it.
And it's just like, it's an art film, it's art porn.
Yeah.
But it is like heavy on the, there's a lot of there's a lot of dick sucking in Bijou.
Okay, so that was actually the big question I want to ask you was, is this hardcore or softcore?
So it is a hardcore film.
It's hardcore. Okay.
A lot
okay.
of what I have been playing is hardcore.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So when I started the series, so Sleaze Factory is a tribute to, in the 80s, it's tribute to like my own personal tastes, but in the 80s, the Paradise was a porn theater.
Oh, no
Toronto
shit.
had a
Okay.
chain of theaters called the Eves and Edens chain, and there
Okay.
were a multitude of porn cinemas in the city, because Toronto used to be a lot more interesting than it is now.
Yeah.
Like Yonge Street was so grimy when I used to come here, and like now all we've got left is Zanzibar. But it like used to be like a fascinating like nightlife where like after dark you're like, oh, this is where adults go. It's not bad.
Mm.
It was just interesting, and now it's
Yeah.
everything is just commercial and corporate and sterile and boring, and so you go into art spaces to get the interesting stuff. But in the 80s, the Paradise was part of this chain, and so it was called Eve's Paradise.
Ah.
And I was sometimes, it's not always, but there's like little slideshows that happen while we're going in the theater, and it would give history of the Paradise over the years, and when it was part of the festival chain, which most of the independent theaters in the city were part of the festival chain in the 90s.
Mhm.
And it was, when it used to be like Italian cinema and all these other iterations. It mentioned that it had this brief window as Eve's Paradise, and I said, hey, can I do a tribute to that? When they had to get permission from the owner. And I was like, we don't have to play porn, but I would like to play movies that are a tribute to that. So I started it off as, did you grow up in Ontario or Canada?
Newmarket.
Newmarket, cool.
Yeah.
So we're around the same age.
Mm.
Do you remember City TV's Baby Blue movies?
Yeah, vaguely.
It was like
I think.
Thursday night at 11 p.m. City TV would play
Yeah.
softcore pornography, but
Oh, wow.
like it was just like movies where you're like, am I watching porn? Like these
Right.
movies are like quite dirty, and there's definitely a lot of boob, and like
Well,
not
it's
unsimulated
softcore,
sex. It was
isn't
softcore.
it? Yeah,
It was softcore.
softcore. Yeah.
But like not all of it. Some of them were like erotic thrillers. But it was like
Okay.
it was the dirty movie night. And I remember, and it was
Okay.
on TV. It was just and for anyone watching this, like City TV was one of our like free to air channels here. And you would get it through your like rabbit ears on your TV. And I remember my first apartment, I had like an old sit on the ground box turntile TV, and City TV was one of the only channels I got.
Oh, wow.
And I remember it would just be on, and you'd be watching whatever primetime nightly nonsense, and it's on while I'm, doing my dishes, and then you would get the City TV Baby Blue movies, with the suggestive like voiceover guy. I've got a few of the clips
Okay.
of some of the intros, because it was
Oh,
like a
sick.
thing in the 70s, and they brought it back in the 90s.
Yeah.
And it's where like a John Waters movie would get played if it got played on thing. And so I was like, can we do that? And they got permission if we did it after there's a restaurant attached to the cinema next door.
Okay.
As long as we started it after the restaurant was closed, so that we didn't get like a patron being like, oh, I'm going to go, and they don't know what they're going in for. And someone's like, why am I watching a dirty movie?
Sure.
What the hell? And so they wanted it to be midnight. I asked for 11 p.m. because I think midnight's a bit much to start a movie at.
Yeah.
I love the idea of a midnight movie, but
Totally.
I'm like 11 p.m. People have gone and seen another movie at 9 p.m. either at our cinema or elsewhere. And so I
Yeah.
kicked it off with Barbed Wire because I was like, that movie, the only dirty bit about it is that you see Pammy Anderson's nipples so many times for no reason. And I was like, what a
Right.
great gateway drug. This movie's got too much nudity. And then we
Okay.
did Cruising. And I was like, here's a
Ah,
movie
yes,
about
yes.
sex. It was X-rated. It was a banned movie.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of like, we'll play Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. It's not, there's no sex in it, but it's our sexploitation movie. It's Russ Meyer.
Yeah.
And I was like, I will slowly, erotic thrillers. We did Madonna's Body of Evidence, where Willem Dafoe eats Madonna's pussy in a parking garage.
Okay.
Real movie. It's nuts. It's not a good movie, but it's like the best kind of not a good movie, where
Sure,
you're just
sure.
like, this is nuts.
Yeah.
I had such a great time watching it. She beat Pia Zadora out for Worst Actress of the Century at the Razzies for her performance in Body of Evidence.
Oh,
And that is
wow.
impressive. I love my queen Pia Zadora, but like,
Yeah.
it was between her and Madonna got the Razzie for Worst Actress of the
What
Century.
what was the movie that Pia Zadora was in
I think it
that
was
was competing?
Butterfly.
Okay, I don't know it. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was like Butterfly was like the same year for it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just impressive. And then I remember watching it being like, Madonna's acting's not that bad. And 5 minutes later, I'm like, Madonna's acting is terrible. But I love that
Okay.
movie. But so we did
Yeah.
that. And then Bruce LaBruce, who is a friend of mine,
Oh,
asked me
cool.
if I would premiere his new movie, The Visitor, which is
Sweet.
a porno retelling of Pasolini's Teorama. And I said,
Great.
I got to get permission.
Yeah.
Send me a screener. So I watched it, so I knew exactly what I was getting permission for. And I was like, there's a lot. And the girls at the theater are like, you know what? People know who Bruce LaBruce is. If we put a content warning on it, and people know what they're coming for, and that is like what you have to do anyways for any films you play in Ontario, there have to be content
Yeah.
warnings.
Yeah.
From everything as low level as cigarettes to nudity to swearing, whatever. So we put our content warning. It was pretty detailed, and
Okay.
we sold that out in 5 minutes.
Hell
Or
yeah.
like got like 90% sold out, and then we had like 10 tickets teetering around, and then when
Sure,
it fully
sure.
sold out, people were like, when can I come? And I was like, well, I told you guys there were 10 tickets left, and now there's none.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we did a Q&A with him after the movie, and we did a short film beforehand from Khalil Haddad, who's a local queer experimental filmmaker who does a
Cool.
lot of like quite adult and edgy films. His stuff is beautiful and heartbreaking. A lot of it is like very grimy and gritty. It's no one's making movies like Khalil, and so I wanted to pair them together. And so we played his Victim of Circumstance.
Okay.
Phenomenal movie, and you could hear a pin
Yeah.
drop in that theater during it. It was like people were mesmerized by it.
Amazing.
And then Bruce's movie, and I was like, oh, when it sold out, I was like, you guys want the dirty movies. So we did something
Yeah,
for
yeah.
like the girls, even though The Visitor is about a pansexual revolutionary. It is still a little bit more of like a boys coded like dirty movie. And so I was like, we'll do something for the girls.
Okay.
And we played Shakedown, which is a documentary directed by Layla Weinrob. I'm sure I'm pronouncing their last name wrong. And it came out in 2018, and it's a documentary about these underground lesbian strip parties run by Black sex workers in LA. And it's all this like backstage footage and like camcorder stuff and posters. And I was like, this is phenomenal. And so I partnered with Sapphics Paradise, which is a local collective of sex workers and queer sex workers who run a party, like a strip party out of the other Paradise, also on Bloor, same street, 2 blocks away.
Wait,
Paradise
what's the other
Gentlemen's Club.
Paradise?
Paradise Gentlemen's Club, the
Oh,
strip club.
okay, okay.
And so they run their monthly, sells out constantly. It's like one Monday a month, like sells out on a Monday night, full
Yeah.
like screaming queer, mostly women. But
Yeah.
their thing is no cis men can attend. And so it's like a queer, it's Sapphics Paradise, and it's so phenomenal. And so I partnered with them, and they had 2 of their performers who are also Black queer sex workers come, and we turned the theater into a strip club after the movie.
Oh, cool.
And it was like that sold out, and the
Yeah.
soundproofing in the Paradise is gorgeous, and you could hear the crowd from the lobby. That's how like into it they were. Everyone was like
Right, right.
screaming. There was a line down both aisles because Paradise doesn't have a middle aisle, so it's just aisle, and then all the seats are in the middle.
Yeah.
There was a line, so somebody went up to tip, and then somebody else went up, and there was a line down both aisles of people waiting to like shower these dancers in money. It was
Oh, amazing.
so good, and that was for that. And now we're following it up with Bijou because
Mhm.
which has been restored and is from I don't know if you had Liz on here before, but I know you know Liz Purcell.
Liz?
Muscle
Hmm.
Schlock Value is her handle.
Okay.
Muscle Distribution is her new company, and
Oh, cool.
she's started distributing old queer, mostly adult, old queer films.
Cool.
And she's like a film historian and archivist and does like phenomenal work. She's starting to get her flowers more, thank God, finally. But she's like on so many restorations and disc releases doing commentary. And so I know she's done a restoration of Radley Metzger's The Image.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Um, and she's got the rights to Louise's movie
Oh,
for
okay. Sweet.
theatrical, and so she's got the Wakefield Poole movies and a bunch of other similar ones. And
Okay.
so I figured this was like a good, I want to support what she's doing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
why would I not want to play this like bizarre queer gay art film, which I'm
Yeah.
sad I didn't get to go. Bruce LaBruce told me that he did a screening of this movie with Wakefield Poole. I believe it was in Florida, but Wakefield Poole retired to Florida,
Okay.
and he just started going to a weekly bridge club with all these other just old ladies, and they
Yeah.
came to the screening of the movie, and they
Oh,
were like in the
wow.
front row. And Bruce said that him and Wakefield did live commentary over the movie, kind of riff track, because it is a goofy premise of a film, but
What's the
it's
premise?
the premise is this construction worker, kind of macho guy, and he
Yeah.
witnesses a car accident, and he pickpockets the woman in the thing. He steals her purse, um, and in her purse is an invitation to this club called the Bijou. And he goes, and when he
Oh,
gets there,
okay.
there's like a flashing sign that's like, "Remove your shoes, remove your clothes." And then when he enters, it's all like jet black and like just like stark lighting,
Yeah.
and he's like pink backlit, and it's just like almost like Corel, like giant dicks, and it's so
Okay.
bizarre. But it's like his like erotic fantasies that he would never act on are like now available to
Mhm.
be pursued, and it's all set to classical music. I cannot
Yeah.
wait to like watch that with a crowd. I have a handful of, I don't know if I'm going to get enough for everybody, but I have a handful of those. So it's probably currently it's going to be the first 10 people who come in, but I might order more. Those not 3D, but like the diffraction glasses that make everything look like
Oh.
rainbowy fireworks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
if you
Those are
want
sweet.
to add to the experience of
Right.
watching weird kaleidoscopic sex. And
Yeah.
then there's going to be a short film beforehand. I believe we're playing Wakefield Poole's Andy, which is his Andy Warhol one. But there
Okay.
is one other one that Liz has that's another Wakefield Poole short. So I'm trying to see if the file for that will be ready in time, because she was
Awesome.
cleaning up a few other ones of his. But
When you're describing like all the dicks and all the imagery and everything, it does make me think of Steven Sedayan's Dr. Caligari, which I can't remember if we talked about that before.
we
Have you
did
seen
not talk
that?
about Steven Sadian's Dr. Caligari, which is a fascinating movie that I have been considering a very long time, whether or not people would come if I would screen it. Like
Yeah.
before we recorded, we were talking a little bit about local alternative film spaces and Ice for Cinema, which is also a video store. I cannot believe I went back after my first visit, because the first two movies I ever rented when I moved to Toronto
Okay.
were Andy Warhol's Bad,
Okay.
brutal movie,
Okay.
and Steven Sadian's Dr. Caligari.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, which
Of
is
course. Yeah.
a weird movie. I know that there's a cleanup, a restoration of Cafe Flesh kicking around. So like
Right.
it's
Yeah.
kind of on my radar to like revisit those and see if and when.
Yeah.
Currently, Sleaze Factory is only quarterly. We're moving it
Okay.
to bi-monthly next year.
Cool.
And one of my other series, Evil Women, is moving to quarterly,
Okay.
because there's more people want to watch the dirty movies, and I've got
Hell
a
yeah.
laundry list of like fun stuff I want to get people to.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, those are like they're in there. I've got a pile of like at some point I'm gonna like pluck them out and be like, and now we're all gonna go down this weird rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And but yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little bit more. I would say more like Pink Narcissus than
Okay. I know
Dr.
of it. I haven't seen it. Yeah.
I would love to play that at some point. There is a
Okay.
restoration that came out that's high on the list.
Okay.
In a dream world, I would play both of these together, like Pink
Sure.
Narcissus and Bijou, because they're fairly short films, but they're different distributors, and that means that the cost is double because I have to pay two separate places.
Right.
Whereas if I was getting them both from Strand Releasing or both from Muscle Distribution, I could probably be like, hey, can we cut a deal to play both movies because we're only charging one ticket price, but can't really
Mm.
do that when they're two different distributors. And
Ah,
also
okay.
I want people to come for Bijou.
Yeah.
And people have heard of Pink Narcissus. Obviously not everybody has, but it is a more popular movie.
Yeah.
And I feel like Bijou is like one of those popular movies amongst those who know. And I'm like
Mm.
looking at the poster while I talk to you right now, and it says from the maker of Boys in the Sand, as if, and I guess when it came out, it was that movie was known, but it is
Okay.
very funny that it's like from the makers of this other queer
Yeah.
porno, and it's just the Fire Island. It's the Fire Island porno,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
Liz also has, and I might play at some point.
Well, I think Wakefield Pools had a bit of a resurgence lately because if I'm not mistaken, Vinegar Syndrome, or maybe one of their partner labels, re-released Bijou for sure, and maybe Boys of the Sand. I want to say a few years ago.
It
You
would have
know?
been Melusine, which is like their adult arm.
Right.
And it is like out of print now, and I didn't get a
Oh,
copy when it
okay.
came out, which made me sad. I
Hmm.
I am a huge pro physical media. I don't have a lot of it because then I would have no money, and I live in an apartment
Yeah.
and I have no space. And
Yeah.
so I have tried to very painstakingly curate a small collection of movies
Sure.
to own. And then I rent a lot of films at video stores. Toronto, we're spoiled. We still have two video rental places. I go to a lot of programming, and also, I'll brag. I program films, so I get sent a lot of screeners, so I
Hell
get
yeah.
to see movies that way, and then I just go to other people's stuff. So there's a lot
Yeah.
of movies that I want to see, and I'm gonna wait until somebody brings it to me, as
Cool.
opposed to needing to buy all of them. But
Yeah.
I love that people are like hungry for physical media. But I can like look next to me, and I own all of the Russ Meyer restorations that just came out,
Oh, cool.
because why not?
Yeah.
And it's like I own all of John's official releases, and then other random stuff that have just
Yeah.
like movies that no one's heard of that I've gotten my hands of, and then local filmmaker Steve Kostansky. I've got his two most recent movies, Psycho
Oh.
Gorman and Frankie Frico, because I
Oh,
was
I
like,
love those.
these
Yeah.
feel like movies that we can't decide what to watch. Someone says they haven't seen it, we're gonna chuck it on. They've got that
Totally.
old VHS quality, but I want something that if I was to ever have a place where no internet, whatever, and I've got
Yeah.
10 movies to pick from, I've got a handful of VHS, I've got my Pee Wee stuff. These are what we watch. And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like limiting my choice to like
Sure.
movies I want to show. Oh, and then my favorite. Like I've got Cruising, I've got Phantom of
Mm.
the Paradise, I've got Pee Wee's Big Adventure, because if those movies
Classics.
ever vanished from the face of the earth, I need to be able to watch them, or my
Absolutely. Yeah.
soul would evaporate. But
Yeah.
everything else, I will be patient or find somebody else who also has a physical media obsession and go over to their
Right.
house and watch it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing you also have a copy of your favorite film, as you told me, is Showgirl. Oh no, sorry, it's in your top 10.
It's
Showgirls.
in my top 10. I do not have a copy of Showgirls, mainly because you can get Showgirls anywhere.
Okay.
And Showgirls also airs on TV. Um, although not in the way that I miss, which is, I don't know if you ever saw. You guys can find it online.
Hmm.
There's a famous when it aired on like network television,
Yeah,
they had to censor it, and
of course.
Showgirls has so much nudity
Yeah.
that they it's like Microsoft Paint. Everybody has these like floating drawn on
What?
bras. It's so
Oh
funny.
my God.
It's
Okay.
and when they're not moving, you kind of notice it, and then the moment
Yeah.
someone stands, you're like, and it's like every scene has them drawn on,
Oh my God.
and I kind of miss the days of the extremely goofily censored films,
Sure, sure.
like the instead of a bleep, the like different voiceover, like replacing a dirty word in a movie.
Yeah. Oh, I
Like
totally know what you're talking about.
there was a John Hughes one, and it aired on YTV, and it's like
Yeah,
I don't like John Hughes movies. It's not my type of comedy, but it's either 16 Candles or one of them, and
sure.
it's where the guy answers the door and he's afraid of him, and he had like kicked him in the nuts before, and he was like, and he punches him in the face. He's like, "You broke my face." He's like, "You grabbed my nuts," and the voiceover's like, "You called me an idiot." And it's like, and it was on like YTV,
Right.
which was like our children's station here.
Yeah. The one
Um,
the one that I remember really well was seeing Mallrats on TV when I was a kid. And I
love.
think Jay's line was something like, I pulled my back out last night having intercourse with your mother. Like they just
Great line.
basically like formalized it instead of saying like humping your mama.
Oh my god, had
Yeah.
intercourse with your mother, which is like it's not even it's barely cleaned up. It's almost more vulgar.
No. I
I
guess,
live.
yeah.
It's almost
Yeah.
more vulgar.
Right, right.
That's so funny. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I don't have Showgirls, but I am screening Showgirls if we want to
Hell
segue.
yeah.
That's my second dirty movie, which is
Right.
for Drag Me the Movies, which is like my flagship series.
Okay, so are each screenings going to represent a different program of yours? Is that right?
Um, I mean, as much as the third one does represent Evil Women, it is part of Sleaze Factory just because it's a dirty movie. But they are
Hmm.
Drag Me to the Movies is the second Friday of every month. So my programming for Drag Me to the Movies is that, and then my programming for Sleaze Factory is Bijou, and then ended up with an extraneous date at the end of the month. And I've
Mm.
added on a movie with that where I'm co-presenting with another programmer.
Oh, cool. Who's the other programmer you're
Bleeding
co-presenting with?
Edge.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Ethan
yeah.
Vespi, and I feel so bad for forgetting the other person's name because it's not just Ethan. There's two of them. They really champion independent cinema and new indie movies. So it's like all the
Hmm.
movies that are currently being made that no one's going to play in a movie theater because Cineplex likes to only play certain stuff, and so he makes
Yeah.
sure he does a lot of premieres, a lot of stuff by local filmmakers or other filmmaker friends of theirs. They have a lot of Q&As, and it's
Cool.
great. They play a lot of movies, like a lot of the programmers in the city, which I love about Toronto. A lot of
Yeah.
programmers play movies that I've never heard of, which, as I'm sure you feel similar, as somebody who's like so into film, I
Hmm.
love when I find out about a movie that I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Um, and Ethan is like on the pulse of movies that aren't getting the press, and they make sure, like Bleeding Edge makes sure that they do a lot of reviews and like hype up these movies, and a lot of them sell out.
Awesome.
I think the recent one they did was called Imperial Green. I think was the one that
Okay.
sold out. I can't remember if that's the baseball one.
Is the other person named Randy?
Maybe I'm gonna feel
Okay.
so bad.
So I think I met them in the weirdest way possible in that I went to go see Vortex a few years ago, the recent film by Gaspar Noé, and my friend and I accidentally wore the same sorcerer long sleeve. And they happened to be at the same screening. And somehow I found his letterbox that said, we sat in the row with these two guys that were wearing the same sorcerer shirt. And somehow I just like
That's
stumbled on them that way.
so
I'm like, oh,
funny.
hey, that's me. I totally remember you. We actually accidentally stole their seats too, which made it awkward, which we apologize for, but you know.
Yeah.
So I guess I've met them.
but yeah, though they're fun, and so they do those, and so we've partnered up because I reached out being like, "Hey, I'm thinking of playing Louise Weird's new movie,"
Yeah.
and I feel like one of two things: either you were also thinking of playing it, or you would be interested. And I was kind of gauging
Okay.
interest, and he was going to do it at another local micro cinema called Market Video, which is like small,
Oh.
small, small in Kensington Market.
Oh, okay.
I believe it's like run out of someone's place, and they play lots of like art films and cool stuff.
Sweet.
I haven't had a chance to go yet because whenever it's something I really want to see, I'm busy that night. But they're like
Sure.
high on my list of places to check out. That's just my
It,
ADHD.
is it outdoor by any
No,
chance? The
that
one
one is
okay.
not.
Is there one though around Kensington that's like an outdoor screening? Like maybe in a cafe or restaurant?
It's possible. I know that there is a guerrilla outdoor screening series that happens in town, run by this guy named Mike Wood, whose
Oh
handle is They
yeah.
Might Be Movies, but that's at a
Yeah, I know
different
that guy.
location every time.
Yeah.
So they did. I know they did the swimmer at like a rooftop pool in someone's building.
Oh,
They
cool.
did Cabin Boy like along the Humber River, like right near like the side of the
Right.
river. It was like a little portable screen. And they did my favorite one, which was the one that got him a lot of promo. Is there was like a car detailing spot, like not Auto Zone or whatever, but something like that on St. Clair, and
Mm.
they projected Fast and the Furious, or maybe it was Too Fast, Too Furious,
Okay.
on the outside, and people just
Wow.
sat in the little parking lot on the side street and watched Fast and the Furious.
Oh my god.
And I know that it's inspired by like what Brandon Lim of Black Belt Cinema did with his like little pop
Right.
up beach series with all the Godzilla movies, like by the beach with like a little band.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I feel like that's maybe that, but yeah, Market Video does some stuff, and Ethan was like thinking of doing it there, and I was like, well, I'm thinking of doing it in the theater, and why don't we partner up because his crowd is gonna love like a new independent film,
Yeah.
and my crowd who are down for like the sleazier and weirder and more exploitation movies, and also my crowd is like, as am I, largely queer and trans.
Yeah.
So us teaming up made the most sense, and I'm stoked because I have
Yeah.
no idea what the vibes gonna be like other than cool. And I also have not watched the movie in its entirety, only because
Right.
it's 275 minutes, including intermission, which is, for those who don't want to do math, four and a
Four-ish?
half hours.
Four and a
Not
half,
four-ish,
yeah.
4.5 hours.
Four and a half.
It's part
Well,
one, and
yeah.
it's just chapters 1 and 2. And if I understand correctly from Louise's posts yesterday, I think she just finished filming part 2.
Really? She's
Yeah.
done. Okay.
Or she was done filming the chapter she's doing, but there was
Okay.
like a post about like thanking all these people who did it, and I was like, does that
Wow.
mean that we'll be getting the other half of this trans epic soon?
Right, right.
But I'm very curious to see
Yeah.
who comes out to that based on. We've had a lot of walkouts of. I find I'm not babying my audience, but some people have to get handheld into the world of exploitation cinema. Some of us,
Sure.
see pink flamingos on the wall at their local Jumbo Video and try every possible way to trick the teenage staff into renting it to you when you are a child, and them say like
Okay.
no because they're convinced they're going to get arrested. They're like, I cannot show this
Yeah.
to a child. But I was just
No.
like enamored by one. It said rated R, and I was like, yeah.
Hell
And it was
yeah.
in the horror movie section at our Jumbo Video, and I love horror movies.
Makes sense.
And
Yeah.
it was like this like beautiful but scary looking drag queen, and it said
Yeah.
pink flamingos and this candy colored, and I was like, I want to watch this movie. And they were like, you
Hmm.
can't rent it. And it was like sometimes I would go in, I would like try to bribe people outside the store to like go in and rent it for me.
Oh wow.
That was like my like white whale of a movie for so long. And
Yeah.
so some of us are that, and we seek out this trash. And then
Totally.
some of us are like, yeah, maybe it sounds a bit much. And I'm like, okay, I'll like,
Hmm.
we'll temper your like levels of like how dirty of a movie you can get. And I have had some walkouts of
Right.
some movies, which is always really, really fun. Not too many complain.
But you
And
have
get
said
mad.
some people have like come to you after the film and reamed you out or something. Like,
Yeah.
break
I
that
got
down for
reamed out
me.
for the weirdest movie. The
Oh,
weirdest.
why?
Well, two. one in advance, somebody who I do not know messaged me to tell me off for screening Drop Dead Gorgeous. And I was like, I'm not playing this
What?
game. This just means you have no media literacy. They're like, the movie's racist. And I was like, they're making fun of
Oh, is it
racists.
really?
No, it's not. It's just people don't understand satire.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like Drop Dead
Okay.
Gorgeous there is one thing that ages extremely poorly, and it wasn't funny then, and it's not funny now, and it's Will Sasso, and his character is like a mentally disabled man, and everyone treats him terribly, and he's like the butt of the joke. And I don't know if the intention of the satire was like, look how they treat disabled people, and it's just mocking disabled people, and that's bad. But the rest of Drop Dead Gorgeous is whip smart comedy gold. And that I was like, I'm not even taking these complaints seriously.
Yeah.
But I screened Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker, which have you seen that one?
I've seen it a long time ago, yeah.
Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker was also released under the title Night Warning, and it is this movie from 1981 starring Queen of the Universe Susan Terrell. And it was a video nasty, but I was researching this recently, and the video nasties have like different categories because like some of them were like outright banned, some of them were like whether or not certain content was removed, some of them were just never like officially released, and it was deemed, which was like a thing by the British Film Board. It was like refused a video certificate. So it's like, if I remember correctly, that meant that it couldn't get a home release. And so it was like it had its like kind of weird theatrical release there, and then in like whatever grindhouse type cinemas the UK would have had, and then it never had an official release, home release. And then so it's entirely possible the copy that we were all watching for years was some like bootleg, like a lot of good grimy movies are, and then it got released uncut like a year ago. Like really recently got a cleaned up like uncut version of it under the title Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker. But it's essentially this movie where Susan Terrell is raising her orphaned nephew. There's like a pretty hilarious but brutal car accident scene. Very Final Destination, logs through a windshield at the beginning of the movie. And it's a little like Oedipus complex-y, and she's like obviously in love with, in a dirty way, with her like nephew. She tries to hit on I believe he was the cable guy. He's either the cable guy or he's like a dishwasher repairman, but there's like a serviceman comes in the house. He turns down her advances, so she kills him. And then when her nephew, Billy, and I only remember that because I asked the audience to tell me which do you think they say more in the movie, Billy or fag? Because both are said so many times. Wow. And I'm allowed to say it. I get called it all the time. And she's found covered in blood, and she's like, this man tried to rape me. And the cops are like, I don't think that's what happened. I think your nephew is gay and he tried to have his way with him and you killed him. And it's this like weird, bizarro, like Oedipus complex thing. She's like poisoning his milk, so he's always kind of like stuck at home and he won't go away to school. And it's creepy, but it's like campy creepy.
Yeah.
Like I will say I watched it on acid once, and that tripped me out because there's a scene in which the cut is meant to make it you immediately think it's the Susan Terrell and not like the teenage girlfriend, but it's like the boy and his girlfriend are in bed and she like licks his nipple, and so the first thing you see is like a nipple being licked, and I freaked out because I was like, is Susan Terrell assaulting her nephew? And it's like not what's happening. But I was like so high that I freaked out. But I did it as a double bill with Lair of the White Worm, which is a phenomenal movie.
That's fun.
Yeah. And I thought that those were like a good pairing, and I had people come out and ream me out after, tell me it's the grossest movie they've ever seen. How dare I? People really did not like Butcher Baker, and I have a few people who used to come to all of my screenings that now only come to one of my screenings if they've seen the movie before because they, quote, don't trust me.
Wait, okay. I don't remember the film being that graphic.
It's not. I think it's just deranged, and so that's the thing is like when I say I have to temper people's expectations, it's a little bit where like you're somebody, you watch, and I've gotten good at this over the years. I mean, I used to work in a video store. When people ask for movie recommendations, I try to kind of gauge what they like and where their like no-go zones are.
Sure.
Because if they've got a no-go zone, they will tell you. And a lot of the no-go zones are people who don't want to watch movies with sexual assault in them,
Yeah,
understandably.
that makes sense. Yeah.
And kind of like things that are like too gory. Like they say they want a horror movie. Do you want a body horror? Do you want a torture? Like what? Where you
Right.
can go. And I find in the realm of exploitation movies, because a lot of people, it is an avenue of cinema that people don't go down unless they're seeking it out.
Yeah.
You kind of have to gauge, like, so I tend to lean with the ones that have more camp factor, where
Sure.
they're not just, I'll never play a Last House on the Left. Like, I will never play a movie,
Yeah.
like, I will never play a Cannibal Holocaust. Like, it's not
Yeah.
going to happen.
It's almost like too mean-spirited in a way.
Too mean-spirited. And I love a
Yeah.
mean movie, but I think a mean movie has to be biting, or it has to be harrowing. And I say that in the sense of
Yeah.
The Vanishing, I think, is Sporlus, the Georges
Oh, yeah.
Clooney film, is a
Yeah.
very mean movie, but it has a purpose. It's
Totally.
not torture. It's not provocation just to piss you off. It's just mean and sad and upsetting.
Yeah.
And like that is on a very short list. I have a list on Letterboxd called Feel Bad Cinema, and I have
Cool.
limited it to movies that you're like, I feel broken after watching them, but they are good movies. But will I watch
Yeah.
them again? I don't know. Vanishing, I've seen a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Because it's just, it blows my mind how good a movie that can make you feel that upset is.
Yeah.
But like White Dog is on that list.
Okay.
The Sam Fuller movie.
Right.
Was White Dog, like, it's one of those movies that a lot of them are movies that are like, can you say they're good movies? No, because like they're so cruel, but they are so well made, and I'm glad they exist, and they are important films. And like,
Sure.
it's like, I watched the whole thing, but it's like, am I ever gonna watch White Dog again? Absolutely not. So
Okay.
sad movie. And
Well, this actually
so, yeah.
came up in a recent episode. We were talking about which is more harrowing, White Dog or White God. Have you seen White God?
No, I don't think I know what White God is. I don't love the title.
Wait, it's I think it's, I want to say German maybe, and a film that came out in the mid 2010s. And it's almost like Homeward Bound if it was directed by Gaspar Noé. Like, it's so dark and disturbing, but there's no like there's no actual like animal cruelty or anything. It was all done legit. And the whole thing is basically leading up to an animal uprising where the dogs completely like destroy a whole city. So you're like, yeah.
I think because just based on that, and I'm looking at the thing right now, it's a Hungarian film.
Hungarian,
From
okay.
2014. So you're right, Eastern European film. So already, like, tick on the it's probably harrowing box. They love their feel bad movies over there.
Yes, they do.
But because it seems like it has a little bit of the revenge and a little bit of the like you're on their side aspect. I'm gonna say that White Dog is probably more harrowing. Like, if anybody doesn't know what White Dog is about, it's a Samuel Fuller film, and a white dog is an actual terminology. They're vicious dogs that were raised to kill black people. And in this, it is actually a literally white dog as well, and it's this animal trainer, Paul Winfield. He's in a lot of stuff. He's in Mars Attacks. He's in Terminator.
Oh shit.
And he plays this animal trainer who's trying to, and he's a black man, and he's trying to retrain this vicious dog whose entire thing was that they're raised to kill and attack black people. And it is just like so sad. And there's like a lot to be said in the movie too.
Totally.
Like there's
like the ending was like,
and people complain. I remember my review of it says that I understand that the melodrama is a bit much for some, but I think for the story to really sit with the viewer and entice you to stay with it, the melodrama demands your full attention. Like it is like there's a lot going on, but it's like you need, if not, you're just watching a sad, fucked up thing. Like you need that story and the dips in it, or else why'd you watch this? And yeah, so I find, what else is on that list? Star 80, which I did screen for Slash Factory, the Dorothy Stratton story, which when I watched for some reason spent 3/4 of the movie being like, why is this lady's name sound so familiar?
Oh,
Playboy movie. Ooh, so for me. And I was like, man, this sounds so familiar. And it was like just before at the end, it's based on the true story of the murder suicide of Playboy centerfold Dorothy Stratton. And it was like just before the death scene where I remembered what happened. And like looking for Mr. Goodbar's on that list, where it's
right.
like they're well made, they're extremely harrowing. You had a bad day, you're gonna feel worse.
Yeah.
There are movies that whenever someone's like, should I watch it? I'm like, I don't know. Where's your mental health at? Because they're
Yeah.
just so fucked, but they're not
Right.
bad movies. Like they
No.
are all almost 5-star movies in my mind. They're just like, I don't know if I ever need to see.
Yeah.
I never need to watch Looking for Mr. Goodbar again.
May I
Never ever.
suggest new
I love a
program
suggestion.
idea? Idea. Maybe you could do this like once every 2 or 3 months. Seasonal is it? You drop one of these films.
We've thought about doing a feel bad series. I know
Well,
that
give it a different name. Give it a different name, because you made a good point. They're all 5 stars. Lean on the 5-star. Be like masterpieces that
we found a
destroy
way to
you.
like destroy you totally, but we found a way to like. I find everyone in town who's wanted to play one of these movies has found a way to like incorporate in their programming. I know Neon
Cool.
Dreams did Looking for Mr. Goodbar,
Okay.
and they did a wonderful thing. They had a cue card in the lobby that had a detailed description of the end of that movie, and he warned that there's a really brutal sexual assault at the end of Looking for Mr. Goodbar.
Yeah.
And kind of gave you a hint as to when it might happen.
Yeah.
And like what the cue for that would be. And so if you wanted to step out, you could. And if you wanted to go and read in advance what happens to see if you could handle it, you could.
You want to know
And,
something fucked
yeah.
up? My dentist ruined the ending for me when I was like, I want to say 18 or 19. I don't know why. We were talking about film and he's like, you know what film really made an impact on me, and proceeded to tell me the ending of the film. And I was just like, I've never heard of this movie. I'm in fucking Newmarket. Like, what is
That's a new level of dental torture. My God. They're like, you're not complaining enough. You're not uncomfortable enough in this appointment. Let me, he really is like, he found a new way to go about the Little Shop of Horrors, like masochist song from Steve Martin.
Right.
Where he is he's like, this guy, he's too into me drilling into his mouth. I gotta let him know.
Well,
about
it was just a regular
the rape
checkup.
scene in Looking for Mr. Goodbar, of which I will say the worst thing about the only thing worse, I think, than possibly watching that brutal scene in that movie is being in the lobby of a theater where you can hear the movie in the lobby.
Okay.
And listening to the rape scene. Because I was like, I'm going to step out. And I could hear it. And I was like, now my imagination's doing all the things.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like there's a few movies where I'm like, I've watched like Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, where I'm just like, I'm going to stare at the ground for a bit. Like, not going to watch this, or it gets a little too uncomfortable. But I was like, I read the thing for Looking for Mr. Goodbar. I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I need to see that scene for this movie to affect me. And then listening to it in the lobby, I was like, I should have just watched it, because I pretty much just watched it by hearing it.
Okay.
Yeah, because I could like hear all of her reactions, and I was like, oh yeah, this is like a lot.
Well, it's so stylized in a way that, I mean,
I think watching it would have been easier to stomach than listening to it.
I think so. I don't want to say for you, but
no, but like when it was happening, I was like, you know what? I'm now just bothered by it. But it's like when I'm screening Showgirls, and I always warn people about that is a 99.999% perfect movie. I think that rape scene in that movie is the laziest writing of any movie, and Joe Esterha should be ashamed, because its only purpose is to mend the friendship of Molly and Nomi. And if that is the only way that you can think that these two women would do right by, or Nomi would do right by her friend, is to get a cheap, barely revenge on a dude for raping her friend, like barely revenge. And it's like, I stood up for you, and it's like, you could have had anything else happen to this woman, or pull a Foxy Brown. You know it happened, but you didn't need to show it. You do
Yeah.
not see a single rape scene in Foxy Brown, but you feel as disgusted as if you did. You
Right.
could have hinted at. So I warn people when it is, and it's always, I'm like, you're going to see a man who you've not seen the whole movie. And I know this because this happens every time I've played it for anybody, and someone will go, who is that? The moment you're like, who is that guy? Even though he's mentioned throughout the movie and you see his poster,
Yeah.
is Andrew Carver, and you see like Molly's got the poster of him in the thing, and she's obsessed with him. But when he shows up at the party, instantly leave. And when I screened it last time, I was like, it's not instant. And then, but I told people I won't watch it. So you see him, you leave, or you see me go to leave, and you can follow me out.
Okay. Yeah.
As I'm walking out, I could hear the scene starting, and I was like, man, it really is. They meet, and they're like, we should go upstairs. It's like right away, and it's so brutal. It's so violent and so graphic and so late. Like, I understand, but I was like, at this point, we already know that Vegas is evil and the industry they're in is sleazy. We didn't need. There was no need. Another movie did that made me mad. Was like Blue Steel. The great movie,
okay.
but there's like a rape scene in the last like 15 minutes of the movie, and I was like, we know he's evil. He slit her best friend's throat in front of her. You didn't need to have him try to rape somebody for you to know he's a bad guy. I'm like, we're at the end of the movie, and it was just like some of these like lazy, salacious nonsense, which is again. It's not even funny. It's nuanced, but it's like as somebody who plays like salacious movies, it's like there's ways to do it where you're like, this is just nonsense.
So for you then, bringing these films in, it's like you're always going to make sure that you can give people a proper heads up. Of
Like Star 80, I warned people about Heavy. I was like, this is a sad, feel bad movie about the real brutal murder of a woman. But directed by Bob Fosse. It's a phenomenal movie. I would implore anybody to watch it. It's so gorgeous. It's some of the best acting Eric Roberts has ever done.
I would say maybe the best acting I've seen him do.
He's very good in Runaway Train.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I actually haven't seen him in too much other than maybe like Stalked by My Doctor.
Stalked by My Doctor. You really going to say Star 80 is better than Stalked by My Doctor 3 Patient's Revenge? I don't know.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say that.
But... Exactly.
Those movies are fun.
Those movies are, they're gold. But
I mean, you should program those movies at some point.
I want to at some point. I really want to. That feels like a little bit of an eyesore type event.
That's true.
But maybe if 200 people want to come out and watch Stalked by My Doctor part 1, 2, and 3, let's split my head. No, be like, let's go. All your listeners are like, I want to go see it.
Okay.
Yeah, come on.
Let's talk.
If enough of you answer, we'll do it. You don't need to convince me hard to play a Lifetime movie.
Right.
But I try to I always want to temper the expectations, and I try as a programmer, for me, like, yes, this is my career, but I do it because I want to share films that I love.
Yeah.
So some movies, it's not that like I think they're bad movies. It's, do I want to recommend it to somebody at the highest level of like, come spend your money and come and watch this? I struggled a bit when I played Ms. 45 because I couldn't I hadn't seen it since I was a teenager, and I couldn't remember if it was like as brutal as it was in my memory. And it is, but thankfully it's in the first 10 minutes and you don't see a lot of it. It's still, I mean, her silent scream is terrifying, but the rest of that movie is like such good revenge. Like rape revenge movies tend to be like an automatic no on my list. Ms. 45 is a wonderful exception.
Can I maybe make one suggestion?
I would love to hear it.
Revenge?
Is that the Corley Farge one? I need to rewatch it. I remember it not being fully for me, but I didn't hate it. Like, I remember seeing it at TIFF and enjoying it, which surprised me, but I don't remember anything else about it. And people do love her. So I'm like,
she's amazing. Yeah.
Like, phenomenal.
I remember seeing that and thinking like, okay, what the fuck is she doing next? And it was, an Academy Award nominated horror film. But yeah, the way that they handled sexual assault in that film to me felt pretty perfect because it had an impact and you could kind of hear it, but it was obscured too. So it didn't feel like too exploitative or self-indulgent or anything like
I will
that.
say, if we're talking about though exploitative
Oh,
rape
by all
scenes in
means.
movies, um, there is one movie where it is done in a campy, comedic way, where as you're watching it, you're laughing, and then you realize what's happening, and you're like, "This is bad." Is everyone's favorite, not remotely controversial film, Myra Breckenridge.
Oh, okay. That's interesting you say that. I haven't seen it, but I'm actually reading a book right now on trans image and film. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like Corpses,
Corpses, Fools,
Fools,
and
and
Monsters,
Monsters.
done by
Yeah.
Caden Gardner and Willow. I'm gonna pronounce your last name wrong. It's McKay or McClay. But Willow and Caden, I brought them to town for their Toronto launch of their book,
Oh,
and
sick.
they picked. They had some movies that I was like, oh, as much as I want to play. Much as I understand why you want to play them, I'm gonna catch the fallout for. They wanted
Okay.
one of the ones they recommended was Doris Wishman's "Let Me Die a Woman,"
Okay.
which is fascinatingly fucked up movie that I was like,
Cool.
I don't know how the crowd will react to that. So,
Yeah.
and then the other one was like Ginger Snaps or something else. And so we played Ginger Snaps because it aligned with the Evil
It's a
Women
safe one.
series. And
Yeah.
it was also a great movie and a lot more upsetting than everybody remembers. Every time I watch it, I was like, must have been so desensitized as a teenager because this movie is like so
Yeah.
dark. It's so dark. It's
Mm.
so beautiful, like
I'm glad to hear you say
phenomenal.
that because I watched it when it first came out as a teenager, and I've been meaning to revisit it. So
Revisit it because
yeah, I should. Yeah.
it's got stuff in it that there's a lot of stuff about suicide in that movie that I didn't remember happening.
Okay. Interesting.
It is a really wonderful look into
Okay.
like what it feels like to be a teenager, and having Willow, one of the two who wrote that book, talk about how this movie was such a good an accurate reflection of parts of the experience of being a trans woman was really
Cool.
fascinating. And like some allegory in it that could be taken for you to view Ginger as going through puberty as a trans girl as opposed
Cool.
to as a cis woman, which was really interesting. And it's like fun to see how the way like the werewolf kind of thing and through puberty like affected
Yeah.
everybody's interpretation of the movie in different ways. But yeah, they talked about Myra Breckenridge, which I can't remember if they're a fan of. I know they're both not fans of Hedwig, but are they
Really?
pro? Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Are they pro or anti Myra
My Red.
Breckenridge?
Honestly, I couldn't really tell.
Okay.
I no. I just started reading it, and I just finished the chapter on Christine Jorgensen, I
Yep.
believe it is, and how it ties into Myra Breckenridge,
Mhm.
and it just made me want to see Myra Breckenridge, even just for the historical factor of it.
I will say so. Myra Breckenridge has some interesting things. I will say that in terms of like pros for trans representation in film, Raquel Welch is one of the hottest women to have ever lived, and
Yeah,
anybody
yeah.
should be honored to be represented by Raquel Welch. I love the universe in which. Before Myra transitions at the beginning of the movie, you meet her as Rex Reed. And I also love the universe in which there's any surgery that would make Rex Reed look like Raquel Welch. It is a
Yeah.
straight director, Michael Sarney, and when British
Hmm.
director, and when his directorial credit goes on screen, it's
Yeah.
like written on in like a calligraphy way.
Oh,
It's like
nice.
it's like it really is kind of one of the campiest films made by a straight
It sounds
person.
like it. Yeah.
It does kind of fall off the rails and it loses steam. Like I will say about 3/4 of the way
Okay.
through, I was like, this movie is not as fun as it was, but there
Sure.
is a really wild rape scene in that movie. And it's like black box theater background, and she's like hitting on this dude. If I remember correctly, they're in like a locker room, and
Okay.
she's like trying to convince him to have sex with her, and she bends him over and she
Oh,
fucks him in the
she
ass.
rapes him.
Yeah, and
Okay.
she's like,
Huh.
"Ride him, cowboy! Woo!
Wow.
Yeehaw!"
Okay.
And you're
Okay.
watching it and you're like, this is funny, and you're like, wait, and then you realize what's happening, and you're like, oh, it's not a goofy sex scene. He like did not want that. And
Oh, I see.
yeah, but it's
Okay.
like not presented as that at all. It's like once you take a moment and you step back and you think about it, you're like, is this
Yeah.
a campy rape scene? I don't know how I feel about that. I will
Right.
one day. I will scream Myra Breckenridge,
Okay.
because I do think the camp outweighs the bits where, and the way it's shot is phenomenal. It's got some like bizarro. There's like a tracking shot that goes from like her looking at her nails, and the camera follows her nails, and she's like, obviously the way that she's like wheeled towards the desk where like John Huston is sitting. And John Huston is in the movie in this like Colonel Sanders-esque get up. It's very bizarre. And it's based off of the Gore Vidal novel, of which I know one thing about Gore Vidal, and it's the Simpsons joke.
What's that?
Where Lisa's complaining about not having kissed a boy, and she's like, even Gore Vidal's kissed more boys than I have. And Marge's response was, girls, Lisa, boys kiss girls. And that was my like when I was a kid, how I found out who Gore Vidal was.
He's gay.
He's a gay author, but I had no idea who he was. And so when he was in my mind, every time I hear his name, I just think even Gore Vidal's kissed more boys than I have. Myra Breckenridge is definitely on the list of like kind of weirder, but ones with that campy rape scene. But I think I try to temper my stuff, and I do lean outside of Sleaze Factory more into camp cinema, movies that are feel good and just wacky and over the top.
Because you play Pee-wee's.
I play Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah.
And like we just did UHF in Smell-O-Vision.
Nice.
Like we did Face Off. Like I like to have like fun with this screenings, and I want to play more in like the campier exploitation movies as well. Like we did Faster Pussycat Kill Kill, and that
hell yeah
ripped. And we did Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, and I would love to we do have a very campy one coming up at, later in the year on Halloween. If anybody wants to make their Halloween plans to come to the Paradise on Halloween proper, we're screening Thundercrack, which is a 1970s hardcore horror film written by George Kuchar. And I rewatched a clip of it the other day because I was trying to find a certain scene to send the person who's making the poster, and also so that I have to put in an intermission in the movie for the event, because it's a long movie. And I was like, oh yeah, George Kuchar totally wrote this. The dialogue is so bizarre that you would never find in any other movie. But it's James Whale's Old Dark House. So creepy people hold up in a mansion during a storm. When it came out, it was described as Rocky Horror meets Deep Throat.
Wow.
And that was the official tagline of the movie.
Amazing.
And it's people vanish, but instead of dying, they're having really weird sex. There is a gorilla, like a guy in a gorilla suit. There is definitely something to do with a pickle. It's really weird. It's very bizarre. It's all black and white. And it's going to be so much fun to play that. And that's my litmus test. We're going to see if crowds are like, yeah, and we don't end up with too many walkouts. Then I know I can play a more fucked up Russ Meyer movie, which is pretty much anything outside of Faster Pussycat and Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. Movie made by a war vet, an old straight white war vet. You know, he's a dirty old man. His movies they were made for dirty old men, but I like to also play them for queer crowds. Like I want to be an enjoyable experience for the people who come, and not just all the seedy dudes.
Right. Yeah.
and then maybe an Andy Milligan movie in time for the Degenerate documentary would be lovely, but we'll see, because Andy Milligan is even a bit rough for my taste sometimes, but I'm fascinated. I'm so fascinated.
I haven't seen anything yet, but I'd like to. Well, speaking of all these, all the sleaze and trash that you are such an expert of, someone did also say you are an expert of this sleaze.
I got a tattoo that says trashy right here that I forget I have.
And I saw you have sassy on this side.
I do. I have sassy in gross font and trashy in like pink script.
Perfect. Love it. But John Waters, Did he not say that you are like an expert on trash cinema or something?
He said, Weird Alice knows a thing or two about nutcase films.
Perfect.
Um, and I have that on video. It is on some of my merch. The amazing Brandon Lim, who you mentioned, helped me design like a kind of almost like an old newspaper vibe collage shirt
Yeah.
of all the dirty movies for the Sleazy series. And at the top, it says that in quotes with like a little attribute to John Waters, which
Nice.
gotta do it. But yes, he did in advance of I did a retrospective of his work. We did Flurry of Filth, which was a year ago now, which is wild because it also feels like 10 years ago and also yesterday.
Yeah.
And we played a retrospective of all of his feature films but 2, because he does not have the rights to he didn't have the rights to the music when he made the movies, so you can't play them outside of a museum scenario.
Okay.
Mondo Trash Show and Eat Your Makeup. But yes, we couldn't play his short films or Mondo Trash Show. The Diane Linkletter story we couldn't play.
Okay.
And then his shorts, like Roman Candles, Hag in a Black Leather Jacket, we weren't able to play those because it's a music rights thing. Yeah. So they can't be played. Because I asked and they said that they were glad that I was excited to do it, but that they don't own the rights to it because nobody owns the rights to it. Yeah. But we played everything from Multiple Maniacs onwards. I will say, watching Multiple Maniacs with a crowd, you do forget how much Divine screams at the end of that movie. It's so funny. She never stops. She gets to talk about campy rape scenes in a movie. She gets raped by a giant lobster. Have you seen Multiple Maniacs?
I don't think I got to finish it, to tell you the truth.
Oh, you got it. Multiple Maniacs is a treat, but there's like a giant. Its name's Lobstora. It's like a Godzilla-esque creature, and she essentially turns into Godzilla by the end of it. Where amazing. Divine just starts like trashing the town and tromping around and like terrorizing everybody. She's like, it's her screaming with this like giant lobster puppet on top of her.
That's awesome. Yeah. Do you have a favorite John Waters film?
I have 2. I have one new, one old. Okay. And then one other 3 that I tie with the olds. Okay. But my favorite of all time is Serial Mom. It was the first. It was the first John Waters movie I ever watched. I rented it with my dad. We did not know what it was. It looked like a family-friendly movie. I had seen R-rated films before, right? And it was very much every time a scene got worse, it was, don't tell your mother I let you watch this. And I was single digits young when I saw that movie. Okay. I was like 9 when I saw that movie. It was just like, it looked so good, and we were like, oh, it's got Kathleen Turner. It's about a family. Yeah. Like, why wouldn't we watch this movie? Yeah. Serial Mom is a treat. It's never not funny. It's up there with me with like Wayne's World and Cable Guy as like endlessly rewatchable comedy gold. And then for his old movies, for years it was Female Trouble. But I have my favorite Divine movie, my favorite new movie, and then my favorite old non-Divine movie because Desperate Living.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's his lesbian fairy tale. It's so funny and so deranged. Yeah. But so much fun. Oh, yeah. But like so much fun, and having Edith Massey steal the show as Queen Carlotta, as the lead. Like the scene where she's being carried around by Leather Daddy. Stupid. Hi, stupid. Hi, ugly. Gosh, this is fun. Which I think she was known for forgetting her lines a lot. And
whatever.
You cannot convince me, unless he confirms otherwise, to which he has not, that Gosh, This Is Fun was just her ad-libbing. And not even ad-libbing. I think it was just her having a fun time. Who wouldn't? She's so, and the scene where she's in a pile of snacks and she's eating food, and one of the Leather Daddies is going down on her and she's screaming, "Eat it! Eat it! Eat it!" It's such a funny fucking movie.
Yeah.
I used to sell
Yeah.
it as that movie is just 90 minutes of Mink Stole and hysterics. She screams so
Quite a
much in
bit.
that
Yeah.
movie. It starts with her, because she's not meant to be a likable character. That I hate
No.
the Supreme Court, which is wild
Yeah.
that that's whipped around to being a good thing.
Right. Right.
At the
Yeah.
time, it was because when
Yeah.
she say, where, don't your doesn't your mother ever watch you? This isn't some sort of communist daycare center.
Yeah.
She's like yelling at the kids because they like they threw a ball through her window,
Oh
and she
wow.
thinks that the kids are having sex because they were playing doctor, and she's like loses her mind and runs away and ends up in this shanty town
Mm-hmm.
for outcasts. She can either go to jail or go live with all of the people in Mortville, and decides to go run away with her maid to live in Mortville.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's so funny. There's really I've been working on a movie,
Oh,
and it will get made one day, and
it will.
it's a lesbian vampire movie, and all I want to say is that it's gonna be somewhere between Blackula and Desperate Living, like
Amazing.
just high camp trash.
Yeah.
I want to make everybody equally mad, but also all of us have a good time. I want John Waters to be proud of it.
Yeah.
Like I think it's why most of us make movies. We all make the movies that we want to see.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
this is us writing this was born out of me complaining that there weren't for a very long time any good vampire movies.
Yeah. Not really.
And
Yeah.
we're getting good ones again now. We had the Humanist
Sinners?
Vampire,
Oh, okay.
Sinners.
Sinners.
I was going to
Sounds
say,
great.
and then
Yeah.
Sinners, because like
Yeah.
in order of like new,
Sure.
was it Humanist Vampire Seeks Consenting Suicidal Person?
Right.
It's like the
Yeah.
whole title came
Yeah.
out last year or the year before, and then Sinners just came out, which is one of the greatest vampire movies ever made.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
Like it's up
Yeah.
there. It's up there with Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's up there with Blackula, which I do genuinely think is one of the greatest vampire movies ever made.
I think I haven't seen it. I gotta check that out. Yeah.
It's
What-
it's fun.
How do you
as hell.
rate? How do you rate Near Dark?
Near Dark up there? That's in the top 10 of all time.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
It's like I liked it more than Lost Boys for years. I've come around to love Lost Boys, but I remember
Yeah.
the first time I watched Lost Boys, I had seen Near Dark first, and I
Oh,
was
okay.
like, Near Dark's a better movie.
It is.
It
yeah.
is, but
Yeah.
Lost Boys, so much fun. Nothing
is,
beats
yeah.
that saxophone scene. Like it's so good. It's so. But we had good vampire movies, and then we had years of just toothless, very everyone, like even the queer ones coming out were like a little bit didn't want to upset anybody. I'm like, they're vampires. They're not meant to be nice.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Vampires evil. Let's have fun with
Yeah.
them. And I'm a big champion for bringing back the queer villain
Okay.
to cinema, which is
Hell yeah.
one of the reasons I'm very excited about Louise's Castration Movie, because I was just like,
Oh.
bring back unlikable or like extremely flawed queer and trans characters. Or people do. That's why I like my Evil Women series. I was like, let's watch women do bad things. It's fun.
It is.
Sometimes
it is
we
super
agree with
fun.
them, and sometimes you're like, wow, you're evil, and I hope somebody kills
Yeah.
you. But they're entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
And it was an issue when those were the only portrayals of queer people on film. But now that it's not, it's like, oh, we didn't have to get rid of every villain.
Mhm.
Like I love Cleopatra Jones in the Casino of Gold. Like the villain is a mean, hateful, rich lesbian.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, she's evil. We should not trust her.
Yeah.
Bad things should happen. But like the tasty, tasty villain, like they make for it's far more entertaining.
Mm-hmm. Well,
And,
it's with Louise's film. I mean, I guess I could see how the characters are kind of more flawed and everything, which is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But the thing about her film that I guess kind of makes it surprising that you're programming is like it really isn't like campy at all. And you know what it reminds me a lot of, and I even told this to her, and she had heard this from other people, is that it's actually kind of like a Mike Lee film in a way. Do you know that guy?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Which I
Yeah.
love.
Yes.
I'm really, really like in awe of what she is doing, and also doing it to the scale she's doing. Like this is like, not only do you have to like film all of that length of stuff, but you have to like edit it into like a
Yeah.
movie. And she is like, again, I've seen scenes, but I've just not sat and watched the whole thing. I was like, I've seen enough that being like, we're gonna play it,
Yeah.
and I'm going to let it wash over me along
Yeah.
with the rest of the audience. I'm gonna sit right at the front of the balcony, right in the middle, and just like watch
Yeah.
all 4.5 hours of it.
It's a
Take a little
doozy.
stretch break. It's a doozy, but you know what?
Yeah.
If it's worth it. I'm a big champion of the no movies over 90 minutes club, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I watch a lot of Indian and South Asian cinema and Korean cinema,
Oh,
and that
sure.
breaks that
Yeah.
rule often. So I think if it's
Yeah.
good enough, the issue is everybody is making these bloated 2 hour, 40-minute movies where nothing happens, and the movie shouldn't have been longer than 78 minutes.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you're like, what is this? Like, what are you keeping me here for this long for?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm bored. I've not, unless you're giving me Face Off, your action movie doesn't need to be 2 hours and 20 minutes.
No.
But Face
Yeah.
Off does need to be 2 hours and 20 minutes. Face Off could be
Yeah,
five
it's great.
hours, and I'd be like, again. Like,
Well,
that movie ends, and I'm like, let's go, because it's like 10 movies
it's
in
fun,
one.
and I think with Face Off too, some of my favorite stuff in that film isn't even really the action. It's more of like
Everything else.
Yeah, like everything else, like the story. You know what I mean? It's that
so
rare action film
absurd.
where you're like, the story's actually better than the action.
Well, the climax of the movie, or the climax of a regular action film, happens in the first 5 minutes of Face Off. You get the
Oh,
plane
true.
sequence on the runway.
Yeah.
That would be the ending of a regular action movie.
Yeah.
And they lead with that. So you're like,
Right,
John Woo,
right.
where are we going from here? And I mean, he does it it is the perfect blend of Hong Kong brought to Hollywood, like Hong Kong action films brought to Hollywood audiences. Because like
Yeah.
Hard Boiled does the same thing, where I was like, this movie could keep going, and I'd be like, well,
Yeah.
let's go. Like, I'm like hooting at the screen, like we're all having a fun time. And yeah, so I don't only do camp films, which is what Evil Women was born out of, was me wanting to also play, I contain multitudes. I like other films.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I want a complex character. We don't need another. I understand the importance of a movie like Love, Simon, but I don't care.
Which one's that? Love, Simon.
One of the.
It's like a musical or something.
No,
right?
It's one of the queer romance, coming of age romance, teenage boys in love.
Okay.
And I was the rude person in the theater for once, which doesn't happen too often. I'm big on theater etiquette, but I went to see that with someone I was dating in Australia, and there was like nobody else in the theater, and I guess people had come in later, or I didn't notice. And there was a woman with her family, with her young kids.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where the boys in the movie kiss, and I just went, gay, because I was like, I couldn't believe. And I hear this woman shocked and then whisper something to her kids, and I turn, and she's got these three like preteen and teens, all with like shaved side hair and like neon, and I was like, you've taken your queer children out to watch this movie being like, look, people accept queer people, I'm here for you, you're trying to be a good mom, and I turned around and went, it's not a hate crime, I'm a gay, it's okay. But I actually did feel bad.
You said that? You said that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm so sorry, because I was like,
yeah.
She was like, oh, and I was like, this woman's gonna lecture me, and I actually do feel bad. I was like, I'm just being rude. Don't ignore me. Like, because I was like, no one's in the movie. There was like somebody else my age, and I was like, I don't care. And then there was like the person I was dating. It was like the girl I was with. I was, we're obviously like on a date. But I was like, why are we watching this at like 3:00 in the afternoon on a Saturday? Like, I don't know why we went to see it. It's not a movie I would watch, but it's like, they have their importance. It's nice to show representation, but I was like, less Love, Simon, more pre-Hays Code villains.
Okay.
Just like evil gays.
Did you see Closet Monster?
Which one is Closet Monster?
That's like the East Coast Canadian one.
No, Queer Cinema Club played that, and I was away, and I'm curious about it.
It's worth checking out. I think you'd like it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, that one's been on my list for a while. Since you've mentioned it, it'll now be, if I like see it when I'm looking through stuff, I'll be more likely to watch it. It's on the radar again.
Yeah.
I got to clear out that Letterboxd watch list of movies that I'm like, it's gotten out of hand.
Yeah, that just made me think. Maybe this would be a good way to wrap things up. Is like you have such great taste.
Thank
If you
you.
could, if you could play trailers before your films of like old films that you'd want people to check out, that might be to do with, or have you done that already?
I have done that.
Oh, okay.
I
My bad. My
have
bad.
That's okay. I have a clip show thing called Weird TV, and it's like old cable access channel surfing, and
Okay,
some
I
of it
was
is
watching that,
yeah, some of
but
it
it
is
was like
clips from other
metal,
movies. Some
right?
of it there was like a metal one. It depends. They're
Okay,
always
I
themed
watched
to the
that one.
movie.
Yeah.
They're always
Okay.
like themed to the movie, and so sometimes it's clips from movies. A lot of it is commercials, but like
Okay.
weird old like infomercial cable access style stuff. And then some of them are trailers to movies either by the same director or in the same vein of. Um, and a lot of times I do it because I was like, this is in the same vein, and I I put in a movie because if it gets enough of a reaction, I'm like, remember that interesting movie? Like, what if I played it? I
Mm.
keep putting in this Florida exploitation movie called Sometimes Aunt Martha Does Dreadful Things. Talk about a movie
Oh, that
with
sounds
queer
familiar.
villains. It's
Okay.
wild.
Yeah.
Um, and it's so bizarre. There's a pull quote in the Agfa trailer for it that's from someone's letterbox review that is, if John Waters directed an episode of Bosom Buddies, which is a very apt
Okay.
descriptor. It's so weird, and
Okay.
I've put that in whenever it's appropriate to the movie, being like, does this interest anybody enough
Yeah.
to?
Yeah. Right.
But I would love to do more where I'm like, here are trailers for other movies that are in the same vibe.
Yeah, just to kind of get people like, oh, I should write these down.
Hmm.
They'll still have their phone out because
Yeah.
people don't usually put it away until the movie starts
No, and
for so
I
many things.
to we do that. I say it's the one time that you're allowed to break movie theater etiquette is before the movie. You can film the performers, you can take all your photos, you can cheer, you can yell and carry on, and then tag us in your stories and you put your phone away and you'll watch the big screen instead of your tiny distracting glowing screen to like
Yeah.
look at nonsense that has nothing to do with what's playing. And then everybody nearby,
Mm.
I will say though, somebody at one of my screenings, she put it away before I like leaned forward. I was gonna tell the person in front of me who was my friend to be like, can you like tap the girl, tell her to put her phone away, because I didn't want to yell. It was during star 80 and somebody
Oh
was
God.
shazamming the scene. It was so wild. There's a scene in the Playboy Mansion and there's like a party and it's like the Chuck Mangione vibe, and there is a singer doing a cover of Just the Way You Are,
Oh, okay.
like the Billy Joel song.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I was like, I love that you could not, like, sarcastic, but like
Yeah.
you had to know what this song was, that you had to Shazam it. And then were you embarrassed when you saw that it was Billy Joel? Like, because like
Yeah.
it popped up and she put her phone away and didn't pull it out the rest of the movie. And I was like, as long as she doesn't pull it out again, I won't say anything. I
Right.
wanted to find her after the movie to be like, one, maybe don't, but two, you do know that there's like end credits that tell you all the songs, and also
Yeah. Yeah.
Billy Joel. Like you had to
Yeah.
know. And when I said it to a friend, they said, "Which Billy Joel song?" There's more than one Billy Joel song in the movie, but it was Just the Way
Oh,
You
okay.
Are.
Right. Right.
But yeah,
She
you
had
get
to
to
know.
yeah, you can like add to your list of the movies. I do that. Sometimes Neon Dreams will include trailers to similar vibe movies in their
Okay.
little clip show, and I'm like, oh, what's that? That's how I found out about the movie Sea of Love.
I don't
With
know that one.
Sea of Love is a great 1993 erotic thriller starring
Okay.
Al Pacino, and Ellen Barkin is the love interest,
Oh wow. Okay.
and John Goodman, and
Okay.
it's so it could be better, but like it is for what it is. It like scratched that itch. But I saw the trailer and I was like, Al Pacino, Ellen Barkin, John Goodman, what is this? And wrote it
Yeah.
down, and I immediately went and watched it the next day because I couldn't stop thinking about it. I
Right.
was like, we
Right.
gotta find Sea of Love. And I'll never forget that movie. And I remember how it got recommended. And so I like to try to do
Yeah.
that because I'm
Yeah.
tickled. I just play stuff that I want to see.
Mm.
And I
I
hope that
almost
you want to
wonder.
see it too.
I almost wonder if you could even try playing the trailers for like the really crazy stuff that you're like, I don't know, but maybe a trailer could get people like, whoa, you know what I mean? like something
Hmm.
that like you could never play there, but the trailer, that might be enough.
Maybe. I mean, I'm wondering. We're getting into that territory where I don't know what I could never play. The crowd is seems
Mm,
receptive. I think it's a matter of there's an art, and I'm sure you've talked to other programmers who said there's an art to like and a delicate balance to like what you play, but also like when you play it and what you've played in the lead up to it.
right.
And in the summer, people want to see movies they've seen 500 times. Hence, perfect time of year to play Showgirls. We've all
Sure.
seen it, and we all want to watch it again.
Yeah.
And who am I to take that opportunity away from you?
Yeah.
Whereas in like I find February and March and April, I can get away with a movie that you might have never heard of,
Mm,
but it's there's that balance. And then when I'm promoting I don't want everything to be too same. And what I do is like I'll announce online in advance, but I normally announce on stage our next screening. And this series is this. And I was so excited. I'm proud of myself when I was announcing Bijou. And I was like, I
yeah.
can't wait. It's going to sell out instantly. And as I'm describing the movie, I'm looking out at 203 because the capacity is 204. So 203 people. And then me, 203, mostly in their early 20s, mostly capital L lesbians. Like it was like a lot of them, a lot of like black and indigenous people came to the
Yeah.
screening, and it was great. And I'm like, this 1970s white cis gay male porno, and I'm like, this is
Right,
not
right.
like some of you are gonna come, but this is like the wrong crowd. If I had announced that at the
Yeah.
Bruce LaBruce thing, people would have been like,
Sure.
oh, eat it up, give me that ticket. And it was very funny to have that real time realization of
Yeah.
I have different crowds for different things. And so there's a crossover between Drag Me to the Movies and Sleaze Factory,
Yeah.
but there are some people who do not come to Sleaze Factory, and it's like it's too adult. They just want to watch lighthearted fare. They don't want to see
That's
sex.
fair. Yeah. That's
My best
allowed.
friend does not want to watch sex movies. They constantly are like, I don't want to come to this. I'm making them come to Thundercrack because it's silly enough to make it worth it.
Right.
But they're like, I don't want to watch The Visitor. They're like, I don't want to watch the porno Pasolini remake. And I was
Right.
like, you know what? Not for you. And I had a
Yeah,
friend who I had to talk out
yeah.
of coming to cruising because she doesn't like
Oh, right, you were
she doesn't
saying,
like
yeah.
grimy movies. She doesn't like scary thrillers. And she's like, Al Pacino is in a gay movie. And I was like, not that kind of gay movie. Please don't come. Please don't come. Please don't come.
Yeah,
And she didn't
it's
listen, and she
yeah.
came and she left halfway through because the movie was too upsetting.
Wow,
And she's like, you
okay.
warned me. And I was like, I did. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to stifle you, but you told me you don't like stressful crime films. And this is like, it's a
Oh,
murder
it's the
movie.
most stressful
It's
kind of
not a
film.
nice movie. It's my
No,
favorite
no.
movie, but it's
Oh,
not a
it's
nice movie.
phenomenal. Yeah,
But it's like
yeah.
it's most William Friedkin movies, except for Boys in the Band. I would say if you
Mm.
don't like a crime movie, I'd be like, "Ooh, I don't know if Sorcerer's for you, my dude."
Yeah, yeah.
It should be for everybody, but
It
it
should,
might
it
be too
should.
stressful. I'm not
Yeah.
going to recommend Uncut Gems to the person who doesn't want to have their blood pressure spike during a movie.
Right, right.
For me, I'm like, get me stressed, screw with
Yeah.
my cortisol levels. Like, let's
I
go.
wanna feel, like, exhilarated, excited, and I think all your programming kind of caters to that, whether it's, campy or evil women
Or
or
titillating.
titillating or sleazy. So, we should wind this down, but we
Hmm.
should get to the dates of these films again because
Yes.
Bijou is August 2nd.
Saturday, August 2nd at 9 p.m. Doors are half an hour beforehand, and we've got a striptease performance that's as weird as the movie is from
Oh,
the
wow.
phenomenal Kuya Ate, um, local burlesque performer. So there's that.
Cool.
Showgirls is Friday, August 8th at 7 p.m. Doors at 6:30, and we've got not one but two striptease performers. Um, One's a drag artist, and the other is a stripper and burlesque performer.
Cool.
Soft Serve and Mixed Bookaroo are performing for that. And then Sunday, August 31st at 5:30 p.m. Doors at 5 p.m. because of the length of the film.
Yeah.
Louise's epic part one,
Castration
chapters one
movie.
and two, castration movie. I'm so excited. We're seeing if she
Yeah.
can come to town. We don't know yet, but I hope so.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm just so excited for those like three little nuggets.
Yeah, yeah.
Just some fun, dirty, weird stuff, some camp,
Mhm.
some enjoyment.
Yeah, and there's more to come after
There's
that. Of course,
there's so
yeah.
much more. It's on
Yeah.
all of my things. It's on all my things.
Yeah.
I'm easy to
And
find.
I feel like we could talk for
We
hours
could.
about these kind of films. So please come back in the future, next season or something, if you've got some time free. Yeah. And everyone will come out to the Paradise screenings if you're in the Toronto area. And let's get to the questionnaire and then I'll let you get on your way.
All right. We love
Okay.
pop quizzes.
Okay.
I'm not prepared. I have no idea what this is. So
Well,
let's
that's
go.
that's the fun of it,
I
right? So,
know.
what is one item you can't live without?
Oh man, you're getting me hard with this. An item I
Uh-oh.
can't live without. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't want to say my phone, but I feel like that's like the cheater's code to say I get my access to the internet so that I
Yeah.
can use my precious letterboxd.
You wouldn't be the first person who answered that. I'll say
I
that
know,
much.
but
So don't worry.
I'm
I know
not a
you mean.
Luddite. I'm just like, I remember a time before having a phone, and I also hate
Yeah.
having it with me most of the time. I do leave it at home.
Okay.
Um, but I'm gonna cheat and say some sort of snack food. I could not live without popcorn. I eat so much of it.
Oh wow. Okay.
I eat so much popcorn. It's a problem, but it's so tasty.
It is good. Yeah. Just get stuck in your teeth.
It does, but it's worth it. It's like
Okay.
it's the perfect movie snack. And
Yeah.
like, I've gone to movie theaters and they've not had popcorn because of like whatever, the machine's
Oh
broken,
wow.
or and I'm like, well, what are you meant to do?
Yeah.
I know, such a fat guy answer, but I got
Oh,
junk food
no.
tattooed on my knuckles.
Hey,
But
we.
like,
Oh, really? That's amazing.
there
Hell
you go,
yeah.
junk food.
What was the last great movie you saw in theaters?
Old movie. So not new movie. The last one would be yesterday. I went to see Boys in the Hood, a movie that I thought I had seen before. I
Oh
was
wow.
convinced I had seen Boys in the Hood
Yeah.
before. I have seen a scene of it. It started. I'm like, I've seen this movie. 15 minutes in, I was like, I don't think I have
Yeah.
seen this movie, and it blew me away.
Oh, it's so
It
good.
was such a good, lighthearted movie to watch on a Monday night. I was definitely not
Lighthearted.
crying in the movie theater at all.
Oh,
I
you're being
was
sarcastic.
being very sarcastic.
Okay.
I Wow, that movie, like a gut punch.
Yeah,
Like,
it's intense.
and I mean, those kids in it were great, but
Oh
Agent
yeah.
Cuba Gooding Jr. that much for 7 years is wild. Like,
I
it
don't
was just like,
remember
because you have them
that.
as like a kid, and then you see them as like 7 years later, and it's like them as like
Oh,
young
okay.
adults or like adult teens.
Yeah, yeah.
They're all like, I think they're all meant to be like 17 because they're all about
Okay.
college age,
Yeah,
about to go
yeah,
off to college.
yeah.
And I'm like, is he actually 17 years old? Because he doesn't look the same age as Lawrence Fishburne, but like,
Oh, okay. It's
yeah,
movie magic.
it is movie magic. Phenomenal movie. And
Yeah,
then
it's great stuff.
for new ones, I've got two. Sinners, again, one of the
Nice.
greatest movies I've seen in so long. I did not like every minute of it worth it. Like, it didn't feel long, and it's not a short movie. It was so beautiful. I've watched it again since. I would watch it again soon. And then for lesser known but brand new movies, Pony Boy was
Oh, okay.
phenomenal. It's coming out with a proper release soon. It was one of a few movies that I saw at Inside Out, and it's
Okay.
this like intersex like kind of like thriller about this intersex sex worker on Valentine's Day, and they're like, stuff goes wrong and they've got to like get out of town.
Okay.
And it's kind of like similar type of tension to like an Uncut Gems.
Sick.
I was obsessed. It was so much fun. It was so beautiful. The lead, River Gallo, is a star. Like, I cannot wait to see what they're in next. Like, I loved it,
Awesome.
loved it, loved it, loved it.
Cool.
And so that was probably the other one. But
Nice.
I've been bad. I've been on my reality TV slop brain. I've been watching a
Yeah,
lot of movies lately.
you program movies. You're allowed to take breaks from
Yeah.
movies. Okay. What was the last great concert you went to?
I saw Weird Al this past week, and it
Oh,
was
you went to that. Okay, cool.
I mean, imagine if my name was Weird Alice and I didn't see
Right.
Weird Al.
That's
And it
true.
was as good as it was every other time I've seen him live. I had a blast. It was so
Yeah.
much fun.
What was the last great book you read?
That's a harder one because I don't read too many books anymore because my brain is slowly turning to goo.
Oh,
But if you'll include an audiobook, we
sure.
are
Yeah.
doing a little celebrity autobiography book group thing, and
Cool.
then every other month we like watch one of us picks, and then we watch a movie that that person was in. And I wouldn't have finished it if it wasn't an audiobook, but the Eric Roberts one was fascinating.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah,
Sweet.
it definitely it started to lose me near the end, but probably
Yeah.
that. And
Okay.
then yeah, I've been bad. I want to read books. Oh, Cuckoo I read. Cuckoo I read that like 2 years ago and I really liked it.
Cuckoo. Cuckoo.
Really
That sounds so familiar.
Gretchen Felker Martin Cuckoo.
Okay.
It's this like dystopian visceral horror thing about like trans people kind of trying to survive in this like reality that's like post-apocalyptic conversion camp hell. It's very
Oh,
mean.
wow. That
They're
sounds
getting
cool.
revenge and they're doing gross
Hell
things and
yeah.
doing anything they can to survive. And it's a it's a gross book and it's very well written.
Sounds amazing. I
Yeah,
should look that
it's
up.
a
Cuckoo.
very good it's
Okay.
a very good horror. She's got another one
Okay.
which I've not read yet, but like that was like I've not. She's described some things, and John Waters' Liarmouth I read the same year, same
Oh,
type of thing
cool.
where I was like somehow reading your thoughts on paper is a lot more upsetting.
Oh,
Liarmouth
okay.
was fascinating. It's also gross as hell.
Okay.
Like hearing the way he describes dicks, I'm like, do you find people with dicks attractive? Because this is foul.
Okay.
Like it's just like it's very like your imagination is big
Yeah.
when you
Right,
read the
right, right.
descriptors from both of these authors.
Okay. It's a
Yeah,
good selection there. A lot of gross stuff.
yeah.
Okay. Next one. So for his final meal, John Wayne Gacy picked KFC chicken, shrimp, and strawberries. For your final meal before being executed, what would you pick?
What a grim question, especially with regards to John Wayne Gacy. I feel like that was like a joke in Boys in the Hood or something I watched the other night. I watched
Hmm.
some two things yesterday, but somebody made a joke about they're like, oh, he's like a whatever. He's good with kids. He's a clown, and someone's like, so is John Wayne Gacy, and I was
Oh.
like, yikes. Um, ooh, final meal. If we include dessert, it would have s'mores because
Oh,
I
of
love
course.
s'mores.
Oh, nice.
I
Okay.
love I love a s'more. So good.
Yeah.
It's a crazy sugar bomb. I just like marshmallows.
Mm.
Um, probably just a mountain of Jamaican patties.
Oh, really?
That was the
Okay.
thing I missed the most when I lived in Australia
I can
was not being
imagine.
able to get Caribbean food because it's the wrong ocean to travel across to immigrate.
Yeah.
Not a big West Caribbean or Jamaican or
Sure.
Trinidadian population over there. And I missed patties.
And you
I missed
eat
doubles,
meat.
but I
You
eat
eat
meat.
meat, right? Have you tried the jerk chicken stuffed Jamaican patty? So it's like a sandwich.
I have. It's like it's good, but it's a bit on the excess for me.
Oh, okay. I love
But
it.
if you wanna go crazy for a patty in town where it's like too much, but like
Yeah.
every once in a while you want that too
Oh
much,
yeah.
is June Plum, which is
June
next door
plum.
to Patois. They do patties that are like big diamond, like they're like little
What?
pyramids, and
Okay.
they've got a curry goat one,
Okay.
and then their like beef one is like oxtail braised off oxtail brisket.
Oh wow.
Like they're like very lush and they're not cheap. They're like $10 patties, but they're like you could
But that's a
feed
meal
two
though.
people.
You know
It's
what
a
I mean?
meal. It's a meal,
Yeah, $10
and
for a meal. Like
you get
I'm okay
curry
with
goat,
that.
and curry goat is like one of my weaknesses.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't
and
know if I've
so
had it actually.
oh,
I think
it's
I tried
so
oxtail,
good.
but
Yeah,
okay.
you should venture for some. Go wet your toes and go get a. They're all open on the weekends, or it's like Thursday to Sunday, I think, and get
Okay.
one. And I know they've got like a coconut crab rundown one and a callaloo one, but
Ooh.
I've
I
had
don't
two
mind
of them, and
callaloo.
I was like curry goat. I'm like I gotta.
Yeah.
I'm a creature of habit when I go out to eat places where I'm like I
Sure.
found the one thing I love, and
Yeah.
so I'll try the other things if you get it, but I've got to get the one that I know
Yeah.
is perfect.
I totally
Yeah,
get that. Yeah.
yeah.
Is there a drink that you'd have with the meal?
I guess I don't have to worry about anything giving me stomach aches.
No, no, I don't. That's what I
Yeah,
always
root
say.
beer.
Root beer, nice, nice.
I
Any
love.
brand?
I like a real bitey root beer. So if it has to be
Okay.
like a brand, I think Bargs is the only main one.
Really?
It's
Okay.
not as
Okay.
sugary. I find the like mug and all those ones are like very A&W are like sweet,
Okay.
and the whole point of root beer. I was like, my favorite candy is black licorice. I'm an old man. I got weird. My
Okay.
favorite ice cream is Tiger Tail. Like
Tiger Tail rules.
Tiger Tail rules. Thank you.
Yeah.
Somebody other than me said it, and we have proof.
It's so good.
You end up cutting it out. um,
Final question. Can art go too far?
yes. I think we started off the episode with it. I think Gaspar Noé's gone too far.
Yeah.
I think a lot of New French Extremity has gone too far.
Okay.
I think bad men like Eli Roth have gone too far.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I would say for me, Eli Roth more so beyond film. I think he's gone too far.
Yes.
But yeah.
But
yeah.
it's like, did you really need to remake Cannibal Holocaust and make it worse? Like, it's like it's things like that where I was like, you took a thing that like it was done, and then you're like, your entire goal was to be a jackass with it. So I think art can go too far, and it's normally extremely commercial art that ends up.
Okay.
And even then, if it's not like palatable to everybody, commercial art, but it's like art with people with money, and I don't know what you really have to say at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. That's a good answer. You know, everyone has kind of had their own different answer for that one when I've asked, but yeah, I think it's like kind of like a subjective thing, but in a sense that subjectively we all have this objective line that should be crossed.
Oh,
you know?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure so many people, or not so many, but there's a handful of people who think that what I program is too far. Like my friend who walked out of the Pink Flamingos screening, which I was like, oh no, why are you here? I was like, I would have told you not to come to this movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, if it makes you feel better, the rest of the movies that you would go see, because Multiple Maniacs does kind of go there, but I was like, not all John movies go there. So maybe come back for like Crybaby or Hairspray, like, because I think you would like some of his movies, or Polyester. Love Polyester. And I said, they don't all go there, and they went, respectfully, I don't believe you, but that's fine. And I was like, I get it. I'm not trying to like just do this to get your money. I want you to like understand why I love this director so much, and like I understand that Pink Flamingos is not for everybody. No. It's not for me most days, but I love that it exists.
Yeah, it's I always forget when I put it on how intense it is. And,
it's magical to watch with a crowd. If you've not had a chance to experience it with a crowd, hearing everybody else's reactions and what they react to, and I gotta say, there is something extra hilarious about the lengthy sex scene with Divine near the end where they're like in the house, and I was like, man, watching Divine suck that flaccid dick for so long.
But it's her son, right?
It's her son. It's so funny. It's so funny. And like even though he's like, and that actor was straight, which is extra funny. It was like good, what a good sport. And it's like Freddy Got Fingered. I think I got one more watch of it left in me in my life before my brain breaks.
Only one?
I've seen Freddy Got Fingered enough times, and every time I watch it, I feel my soul leave I love that movie. Right. But if you're not in the mood, I've had to turn it off sometimes, being like, I can't handle this today. Sure. I think I've got like one more at each of those, because I think I've gotten everything I need out of it beyond me just actually breaking my brain.
Right. And I'm guessing, you're intoxicated to some degree in these.
I don't know if I am enough, and maybe that should be I think I'm watching Freddy Got Fingered stone cold sober.
Oh, wow.
I love that movie. I will. That'll be my y'all ready, and I'm going to show it to everybody, and then I'm going to do this and walk off into the sunset.
The end of Weird Alice.
The end of Weird Alice. The end of my program, my reign of programming terror. I subject everybody to the masterpiece that is Freddy Got Fingered. I think that's a great end note, honestly.
Well, I love that. Alice, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Everyone go out to the Paradise to see all the films because you've got so much beyond August. I mean, October, Thundercrack. What day are you doing it? Because Halloween's the whole
Halloween.
weekend, really.
Halloween proper, Friday, October 31st.
Okay, sounds
On
amazing.
Halloween, it's everyone's actual Halloween plans. And another just little local shout out, we're screening Glen or Glenda in September, whatever the second Friday of the month is. I think it's the 12th. We're screening Glen or Glenda as the launch party for Will Sloan's book on Ed Wood.
Oh,
he
right.
wrote a book called Ed Wood, made in Hollywood, USA, and he's doing his Toronto. He's doing his official book launch then, because right now it's just in its pre-order stage.
Okay.
And he'll be there, and we're going to talk about the legacy that is Ed Wood. I wanted to play his dirty movies. There's a Blu-ray that got released called Hardwood, the adult films of Ed Wood, but. Okay. We'll introduce people to the wonders of Ed Wood first and see if they like him enough to want to go into his weird movies, because they're already pretty kooky to begin with. And the only other cool one to keep your eyes out for that's really unique is we're screening Anyab Fangs, the Egyptian 1981 Egyptian kind of Rocky Horror remake that they made. It's a queer Arabic film.
That sounds amazing.
It's so wild. And so we're going to be playing that at the beginning of October.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. I will be seeing you, I'm sure, at the Paradise sometime soon.
I'll see you around.
All right. Have a good day. Thank you.